Dear students, now we are going to see the bones of the leg. Okay, what are the bones of the leg? We are having two bones in the leg, tibia and fibula. Okay, see, these are the two bones of the leg. This medial bone, this is what the tibia, and this one is a lateral bone, fibula. Okay, now, first we are going to see the features of tibia. Tibia it is a medial bone, medial and a larger bone. And features it is having two ends, upper end, lower end, and one shaft. Okay, see the diagram. It's a long bone, no doubt. It's a long bone with two ends. See this end, this is what the upper end, and this one is a lower end, and this middle cylindrical part, this is what the shaft. Okay, so upper end is having. These are the parts of the tibia. Now we are going to see the upper end. Upper end, it is expanded from side to side to form two condyles. Okay, it is expanded from side to side. See, this is what the upper end. It is correct. See, here we can see one extension on the opposite side or the lateral side. There also we can see one extension. So this is what the medial condyle. This expanded area, this is what the medial condyle, and this one is a lateral condyle. So it is having two condyles. So anyway, see, upper end it is expanded from side to side to form two large condyles. So the upper end is having one medial condyle, one lateral condyle. Not only that, in between these two condyles, see here this is a medial condyle, this is a lateral condyle. Between these two condyles, there will be a space. That area it is known as what the intercondylar area. Intercondylar area. See, this is the superior view. You see the difference. See, superior view means from above. This is the anterior view of the tibia. This image, this is the anterior view of the tibia. Now I am showing this one. This is the superior view of the tibia. So this one is a medial condyle. This is a lateral condyle. So now we can see a small area between these two condyles. This is what the intercondylar area. And if you are checking the anterior aspect here, we can see a roughened elevation. That roughened elevation it is known as the tuberosity, tibial tuberosity. Here in this diagram, this roughened area. So these are the parts of the upper end. So upper end is having one medial condyle, lateral condyle. Condyles, what is medial condyle? Condyles are the projections from the bones. Okay, so it is having one medial condyle, one lateral condyle, then intercondylar area. Intercondylar area, then tuberosity, tibial tuberosity. Now shaft. Shaft is having three borders: anterior border, medial border, and interosseous border. Okay, interosseous means between two bones. Okay, interosseous membrane that you know. Okay, so that interosseous membrane is attached to this interosseous border. See, now you can see a space between these two bones, tibia and fibula. That space is occupied by a membrane. That space is filled with a membrane. That membrane is known as interosseous membrane. Interosseous means between two bones. Okay, so that membrane is attached to a border. That border is known as what? Interosseous border. So automatically it will be the lateral border. So interosseous border here in the case of tibia is known as the lateral border. So it is having medial border and lateral border over the interosseous border. So these are the borders: anterior border, medial border, interosseous border. It will be difficult to identify the borders here in this image. See this one. This is what the anterior border. This ridge comes like this. It starts from the tibial tuberosity. Then it runs downward. Here in this image, this roughened area, this is what the tibial tuberosity. From there, it runs downward. Okay, and reaches this projection. Okay, that is what the anterior border. And this one, this is what the medial border. This now the tip of the cursor is on the medial border. This border or this ridge is the medial border. Okay, like that here on the lateral side, there also one border is there. That one's a lateral border over the interosseous border. And here you can see the interosseous membrane also. Okay, so three borders are clear: anterior, medial, lateral, or interosseous. Now three surfaces: lateral, medial, and posterior. Let's see, check it. See, this is the anterior border. I already told you this one is the anterior border. See, medial to the anterior border here. This is a medial surface. Lateral to that, here comes the lateral surface. So it will be easy to study between the anterior border and medial border. That is the medial surface. See this area. This is the medial surface. Medial surface. Then here comes a lateral surface. Between the anterior border and the lateral border, there comes a or androgeous border. There comes a lateral surface. Now one more surface is there. That one is a posterior surface. Okay. See this one. This surface here. This is a posterior view. This diagram. This is a posterior view of tibia and fibula. Okay. Now here in this image, this is a medial border, and this is the introitious or the lateral border. Okay, so between the medial and lateral borders, or between the medial and introitious borders, there we can say the posterior surface. In the upper part, there we are having a line or a ridge. That is what the soleal line. One muscle is attaching to that. We'll discuss it later. So that is what the soleal line. Okay, so these are the features of this shaft. So shaft, it is having three borders, three surfaces, and this posterior surface is having one important feature. That is what the soleal line. Now we are moving to the lower end. Lower end, nothing is there. Lower end of the tibia is slightly expanded with five surfaces. Okay, medially it is having one downward extension. It is known as the medial malleolus. See, this is the medial side. I told you this is the medial condyle and this is a medial bone. So this is the lateral side with the tibia. Okay, so anyway, this is the medial side. So here on the medial side of the tibia, there we are having one downward extension. It is known as the medial malleolus. Okay, so medial surface is having one downward projection known as the medial malleolus. What are the other surface? Here we can see the anterior surface and posterior surface and lateral surface, which articulate with this tibia. Okay, so anterior and posterior, medial, lateral, then inferior. Those are the other surfaces. So the most important point, medial malleolus. So these are the some of the features of this tibia. Mean upper end of the tibia, it may be short knot with the two condyles, medial condyle, lateral condyle. Then a rough elevation, intercondyle, tibial tuberosity, and a ridge area which is seen between the medial condyle and the lateral condyle. That area is the intercondylar area. You have to read the attachment on that intercondylar area, or otherwise we will discuss along with the knee joint. Now we are moving to the fibula. Fibula, it is a lateral bone of the leg. Okay, same features. It is having, see, that is also a long bone, no doubt. Okay, so long bones are having two ends and one shaft. So it is having upper end shaft and a lower end. See, this is what the upper end. Upper end is expanded, and it's the superior aspect. The superior surface of this upper end is attached to this, or it is articulated with the tibia. So it is head. See, upper end. Now we will see the features of upper end. Upper end, it is expanded. The superior surface bears one circular articular surface, which are articulated with the lateral condyle of the tibia. Now another point. So superior, one important point. Superior surface is having one articular surface which articulated with the tibia. Now another point. Apex of the head, or this head means less upper end. It is otherwise known as the styloid process. See here in this image, this projection. That area, it is known as what? The styloid process. Okay, so that is what the styloid process. This apparently is otherwise known as the head of the fibula. Okay, so those are some of the important points of this upper end. Upper end is having one articular surface which joins with the lateral condyle of the tibia. Then its apex is known as the styloid process. Now, same like that of the tibia. Here the fibula is also having three borders and three surfaces. Here the borders are anterior, posterior, and introitious. Okay, and the surfaces are medial, lateral, and posterior. That's all about the shaft. Okay, see, posterior surface, it is the largest surface, and here it is having a ridge. Posterior surface is having a ridge. It is known as medial crest. Okay, posterior surface of the tibia is having one ridge. It is known as the soleal line. Okay, but here it is having another ridge. It is having one ridge. It is known as a medial crest. That's all. Now the lower end. Lower end, or it's otherwise known as the lateral malleolus. See the image. See, this was our medial malleolus. Okay, it is a part of this tibia. Okay, now the fibula. This lower end of the fibula is otherwise known as what? Lateral malleolus. Okay, so lateral malleolus or the lower end, it is having four surfaces: anterior, posterior, lateral, and medial surface. See this lateral surface, which is subcutaneous. We can feel it in the lateral side of the angle joint. There we are having a projection. That is what the lateral malleolus. Okay, angle joint there, lateral side of the angle joint. There we can see the lateral malleolus. And the same medial side of the angle joint. There we are having the medial malleolus. Those projections are known as the malleolus. Okay, now the medial surface is a triangular facet for the thallus bone. Okay, thallus, it's a tarsal bone. Okay, so to articulate with the thallus bone, and another one is having a fossa there. It is known as malleolar fossa. So medial surface is having two features. Okay, what are they? It is having a facet for the thallus, and see, this is the medial surface. This is a lateral bone, and this aspect. This is what the medial side of the bone. So here it is having a facet which articulates with the thallus. See, thallus bone which comes here. So this side of the fibula articulate with the thallus bone. Okay, then behind that, here it is having one more fossa, one more depression is here. That is what the malleolar fossa. So these are the some of the important features of this tibia and fibula. Okay.